Hey guys, Zach here. I know it's called football. Let's get started. Another 1-0 win for Arsenal against a super tough Burnley side, as they always are. Super physical. In the end, I guess they paid for it with the foul they gave away from Brownhill that led to Odegaard's strike. I mean, it was a perfect free kick. I remember watching it, and I thought actually Thomas Partey might take it, given that he still hasn't had a goal. And I know in the videos from practice and stuff that Arsenal media have let out that you see him taking shots all the time. So, but it was a perfectly placed kick. Pope didn't really have a chance to stop it. So sometimes that's all it takes. I think against Norwich it was a bit more luck that the goal went in. But this time around, it was just a perfect strike from Odegaard, and another thing that he has in his kit. So yeah, it was nice to see. The game itself started pretty bright. I think as it always does. I know I find myself always talking about how there's a good first 15 minutes or first 10 minutes, and even against City and Chelsea, that seemed to be the case until we concede the first goal, and the team kind of capitulates, I guess, in a way. There were spells of the game, obviously, where Burnley was pressing, and they sort of did that the whole game, I suppose. And but I thought in the first half they sort of just, you could see them moving their formation, and they had those three up front and three in the midfield, and the ball just kind of went back and forth between Ben White and Gabriel, and they passed it back 4 or 5 times. They couldn't really get out. And in games like that, sometimes it does just come down to a mistake from one team and the other team capitalizing on it. And in this case, obviously, it was the free kick from Martin Odegaard. Again, perfect free kick. That's all it takes sometimes. So I was getting a bit worried at one point. The goal came in the first half, of course, 30th minute. We did have control of the game, I would say, but seeing the amount of touches the back four were having, really, it seemed to be a lot of Gabriel and Ben White going back and forth, and of course Ramsdale got the ball every once in a while, and did his best to distribute it to Tierney or to Thomas Partey in the midfield. We'll talk about Aaron Ramsdale a bit later on in the video. I was pleased with his performance, obviously, and pleased that he's now kind of stepped up to the number one spot for Arsenal. So we'll talk about that a bit later. Just want to talk about Thomas Partey, of course, the main man, the talisman in that midfield. You could just see the quality that he brings to the side, man. The passes, the sometimes it just takes one pass, and that ball will just sort of slice through the pitch and take out 3 or 4 players, we saw that early on to one of his passes to Bukayo Saka that actually led to the foul from Brownhill. So you have these moments of quality, and taking advantage of it is extremely important, especially against these teams like Burnley, teams like Norwich. I think you ask any football fan, really, they'll tell you 3 points is 3 points. A goal is a goal, and if it's a winning goal, then all the more reason to be happy about it. So no complaints here, really. Apart from I would say Ben White was a bit shaky at times. He missed his first header, just kind of completely whiffed it. And it was always going to be a tough battle with Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood up top, but I thought he held his own, pretty well after that. As the game went on, he had, of course, the manager brought him in as a player who's comfortable with the ball at his feet. We know Gabriel is the same, obviously, and Aaron Ramsdale. So you have this sort of back three, these 3 players who are really comfortable with the ball at their feet, and they showed it. They were under pressure. Obviously, that error from Ben White, I'll get to a little later on. Just a short pass, sort of lack of concentration, perhaps you could call it that. I think overall he had a good game. I think he'll grow into the team. He'll get better over time. I do believe that he'll show his quality, and the price tag will eventually pay off. I just want to read a couple quotes here from the manager on Thomas Partey, talked about his performance, that is really important because he's the anchor, as he is the one that needs to read what's happening and make the rest better. That's his biggest job, to get the balance right in the team and the right fluidity in the team so we can attack. How he managed transitions was top. He has the pressing and the charisma, and then he struggled at the end, of course, talking about his substitution. He said he could not finish the game because he was cramping, but that will come. He missed a long time, but now he's back and needs some more fitness. Obviously, we knew, I sort of expected him not to start, actually. I thought maybe he'd come on 60th minute or so, and we'd see Sambi Lokonga back in the midfield, perhaps with Ainsley Maitland-Niles again, who I thought had a good game when he came on, as he did against Norwich before he was substituted. So yeah, it's clear the importance of Thomas Partey. I think every Arsenal fan knows how important he is. He is that anchor, and his job is he's probably got the most important job on the pitch, which is being there defensively. At times it was almost like he was a third center back. When the balls were coming in, and Burnley, again, super physical side, big players. Ashley Barnes, Tarkovsky, of course, Chris Wood, just players who are going to get in there and roughhouse a bit. And having a player like Thomas Partey, in there heading out, he had quite a few headed clearances. The guy is just vital to success for Arsenal, and hopefully it is just cramps. I haven't heard anything other than that. And you would expect him to start against Tottenham on Sunday. I don't see him really featuring much against AFC Wimbledon on Wednesday. Maybe he comes in a little cameo, or gets 20 minutes under his belt or something like that. But you would expect him to start against Spurs on Sunday. So now just on to Tomiyasu. Just want to talk about him real quick. Of course, I have the some player stats here, courtesy of AFTV. Just the stats here: he won 100% of his aerial duels. 100% of duels were won. 5 recoveries, 5 clearances, and he had 79 touches, which was actually the most of Arsenal players on the pitch. And this guy just keeps getting better, man. Fantastic again. He plays like he's been here for ages. Not. It seems like he's been in the Premier League for ages, and not just at Arsenal. The way he sort of has blended in, and I think he had 1 or 2 training sessions before the game at Norwich. I know some people were pretty surprised to see him start. I sort of had expected it, because when you go out late on and you get a player like that, he sort of was another puzzle piece missing in the Arteta collage of I suppose specialized players, as he likes to say. I know he spoke about that in the press conference, about getting closer to the players he wants, and sort of being able to have all the players that he thinks are capable to sort of lead the team forward, and hopefully bring some more trophies. Then obviously that's what you want overall as a team and as a football club. So just wanted to go over those 2 things real quick. Tomiyasu for me is just becoming one of the most likable characters at Arsenal. I think Aaron Ramsdale too, in terms of new signings, of course. Just 2 players that have stood out. That's 2 clean sheets in a row with the same back 4 and the same goalkeeper. In fact, that's 3 clean sheets for Aaron Ramsdale, and 8 goals scored. Take away what you want from the West Brom game, as I always say, but 1-0 to the Arsenal, 2 games in a row, 2 clean sheets. Ramsdale looking more and more confident, and that confidence really translates to the rest of the team, as you could probably see as the game went on. I talked about Ben White early on, about him missing the first header, and overall I think his quality will show, and he'll end up being a very good signing for us. I think a big test is going to be, of course, on Sunday against Spurs, when you have players like Son and Harry Kane, who's obviously both good in the air, and I mean really he can score from anywhere. I think you could probably say the same for Son. So quick player like him, he's going to be darting down on the right hand side. He's going to be a real threat. So it's going to be a bigger test, and that's what you want against players like this. You want them to be tested, and you want them to show their worth and really show what they're capable of, and I can say what I want to get about Spurs, and we can make all the jokes we want, but it is a quality side. They have very good players. The two, of course, that I mentioned. In the midfield, Højbjerg is a player I like personally. I think Giovanni Lo Celso is also a very good player. So it'll be a good test, man. I'm really excited to see what'll happen. Just quickly, the second half, I think we could have had two goals at least. That's what I said I wanted to see. After the team sheet came out, I said this is quite an attacking based team. I expected at least 2 goals. I think we could have had 2 or 3. Bukayo Saka had a chance he didn't quite put away, and Emil Smith-Rowe I think had an even better chance. He kind of just scuffed his shot, and it was a pretty poor shot overall. But again, at the end of the day, like I said, it's 3 points. It's an improved performance. It's not the statement I think a lot of people wanted. I think you wanted a statement against Burnley of maybe 3 goals, really, really putting the game to bed. But I think the statement came in just an improved performance and just another consistent performance defensively. Of course, the clean sheet, again, that's 2 in a row in the Premier League. Like I said, back-to-back 3 points. Now we're coming up against a Spurs side who have just lost 2 games in a row. After winning the first 3, they lost the last 2 games 3-0 each game they lost to. So you expect they would love to bounce back in a North London derby. That tends to always be the case. I know last time we beat Spurs, I think we were coming off a 2-game lose streak, actually. So those things don't technically count, I think, when you have a game like this, a game of real rivalry and 2 teams who are just there to win the bragging points, really, and 3 points, of course. Just closing here, talking about Thomas Partey and Tierney, I mentioned they both came off just due to cramps, it seemed. Apparently, Mikel Arteta was talking about the pitch and how it was a hard pitch. And of course, Tierney has his history of injuries, and Thomas Partey the same since he came to Arsenal. So precautionary substitutions. Nuno Tavares, when he came on, did well, I thought. That shot at the end after he made that run, you sort of just we're hoping he would have found a corner and stood there and tried to keep possession, but I guess fair play to him. We know he's got a right foot. He scored quite a good goal in preseason with a right foot, so it didn't lead to anything that didn't come back to bite us in the ass. But Tierney obviously came off for Tavares, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles looking pretty sharp in that role. When Partey came off, just sort of shoring things up, and the way he played right back and right wing back, last 2 years, or at least under Mikel Arteta, he has the quality to go in and break the play up. And I think the fact that he's now sort of fighting for a spot in the midfield, and he's played there and looks sharp, I think it's an option that you have, and certainly an option I would feel confident in seeing him play there, and I think he can only really get better in that position. And alongside Sambi Lokonga, I thought he did really well against Norwich, and I'm sort of expecting to see that partnership against AFC Wimbledon. Who knows? Maybe we see Charlie Patino in there. You never really know, but certainly I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles will probably start that game. So we'll see what happens there. Just touching on my man of the match, I think it was Gabriel for me was just a colossus. He was colossal. Excuse me. He was winning every header. His breakup play. Again, a guy who just does basics well, just like Tomiyasu. He doesn't have to be flashy. That sort of bicycle kick clearance at the end. That ball came in from Ashley Barnes, and he just does the dirty work for you. And I think, the partnership with Ben White, it shows you the balance that they have. Gabriel will kind of win the headers, go in there, do the dirty work, and Ben White might end up with the ball and use his skill to send the ball up the pitch. So yeah, it was great. I'm happy for Ramsdale. He had another great game, really commanding that box. Distribution was great. Everything about Ramsdale is just perfect. From his attitude, you could tell he loves to he loves being at this club and playing for this club. So yeah, overall great performance, and I'm super happy. Need a win obviously against Wimbledon, and of course a win against Spurs will really be the icing on the cake. And you would hope our Arteta can sort of turn things around and more 3 points to come. Clean sheets would be nice. That game against Spurs is really going to be the big one. So thanks everyone for watching. Really appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you next time.